Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Ignite, a Wildfire podcast. I'm super excited for today because we're going to be doing another senior spotlight, and I get to do it with our very own producer, Chelsea.
Hi, my name is Chelsea. As you can see, I'm also Michael's favorite. So
Yeah, there's like a challenge right now to try to figure out who's my favorite. But I want to know realistically is who am I the favorite to out of all of you guys? Who cares for me the most? Who loves me the most out of all of you guys?
who cares for you the most?
Out of everybody, like all of them.
All the seniors?
Like all the seniors, yeah.
I think Joe.
So like Joe's like my biggest like fan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love it.
And Lily seems to really not like you at all.
Lily doesn't love me. I don't know. Well, she's not here. I don't know where she's at.
Not here.
So
she's not even in the room.
She's not even in the room. Just kidding.
She's
behind the camera.
Hello Kitty socks behind the camera.
She's behind the camera. We're just messing with you, Lily. But that's so funny that you guys do that.
Our little competition.
I don't necessarily have favorites because it's kind of hard. You guys all have your own. Well, first of all, that'd just be jacked up if I had favorites. Like that'd be. But I've always said it. Remember, like I don't have favorites, but I do have people. I'm like, cool.
She's extra cool.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's like I get along with some people more, like where we can like be relatable.
Yeah.
Or different things like that.
I definitely think that's true. You do not like get along better with some of us, but I guess it's more engaging.
Yeah, but that makes sense. So I'm excited that you're on this episode.
I'm excited
It's gonna be all these episodes with all of you seniors are gonna be different just because you guys have your own different gifts and just skills and I don't know, like you guys just all have your own personalities and there's a lot of you guys graduating this time, which is really hard for me.
What was last year's count?
Last year was 2.
It was just your Etsy and Legend?
Oh, no. Sorry. It was 3. My bad. It was 3. Now I feel bad. There was maybe I feel like there was more. If I forgot somebody, I'm so sorry. I'm pretty sure there was 3.
Well, it looks like just 2.
No, we had James Robertson also.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so 3. Yeah, but then this year I think it's like 8 or 9 or 10 or something like that.
8.
That's a lot. It's so many.
I think it's actually 9.
Is it 9?
I think the count that comes to youth group frequently is 7.
Yeah.
And then 2 more. Yeah.
There's like 2 more. Yeah. But it's gonna be. I don't know. It's gonna be an interesting season. It's gonna be weird for the youth group just to kind of dwindle a little bit, and then. But what I love about your guys' group is that you guys all have told me that you want to come back and help in some form, which is kind of cool and kind of a cool testament just to like what the youth group is doing right now, that you guys even would want to come back and not just be like, I'm done. See you later, Michael.
Nurture everything I've built here. Every time I talk to anybody about like college, and I did make a change recently, but I don't feel any detachment from like obviously distance, but it doesn't feel like a burden to come back. It feels like a pleasure. This is where I take my rest. Right. Especially because I do so much work here, like to glorify God. It feels really, really nice to come back. That's good.
Which is like a lot about what we're going to talk about today. And, you know, I'm pulling up my my notes and stuff like that just so we all know, the viewers know what I'm doing. I'm not just like playing.
He's like playing Block Blast on his phone.
Blast on my phone. That's not me. I'm not addicted to Block Blast. That's everybody else. But I'm addicted to Minecraft.
Okay.
We do know that.
It is quite an addiction.
It is an addiction. But so with all of you guys, and I want to change this a little bit because when I first talked about this, we're doing the senior spotlight and talked a lot about how the Lord has put like different kingdom building traits in my mind of like each one of you guys, and it kind of has changed a little bit, which is cool that the Lord does that. You know, he just kind of comes and does different things, and I think it's going to be a little bit more, not just gifts necessarily, but just specific things I've witnessed within your guys' lives that the Lord has just like kind of pointed out for me. I'm just giving that caveat just so that people are like, well, how is that a gift of that person? And it's like, well, I think it's just important just to talk about who that person is and where they've come from and different things like that. But yours is not that. Yours is specifically a God-given trait that I have witnessed and recognized. And what I'm really excited about you, which is kind of cool, and I'm hoping that maybe some listeners maybe are in this area or were in this area, but you know, I've been doing youth ministry for a while now, and just growing up in the church, I have not, you know, it's kind of like a pastor's dream to have somebody like hear or meet the Lord, right? And then be like, oh man, like this is it, like this is the whole thing, right? But normally it takes like this process and takes like this time, And maybe there is like a little bit of process within your story
Yeah.
of like the Lord kind of just like moving and trying to like, maybe he's like grabbed your attention through your friends and stuff like that early on. But I think realistically, like you kind of like had an encounter with the Lord and then was like, yeah, I'm selling out for this. Like this is like really it. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that today. I'm going to stop talking just for like a second, but I want to get us prepared for like what the whole purpose of today's podcast is specifically about, and like this idea of the fact that you are new to the faith. How long is it? It hasn't even been a year yet.
No, it hasn't been a year yet. Okay, I think I'm coming around 9 months. I started in September last year.
Yeah.
So about 9 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is kind of crazy because you talk.
Wow.
And not just talk, but you act, because we've talked about this before, right? It's not just about how you talk, it's about how you act and like those things. And you like understand it and you get it. And so it's kind of like, that's kind of interesting that like you're like really like you really understand it, but you're also very smart too. So I don't know if that just kind of plays into it a little bit also.
I don't know. Okay. I'm aware that I'm academically smart, but I think because of how long it took for me to get to a point where I was like, that doesn't define me, and that's because I came to Christ, and I finally understand like that's not who you are, and you're not defined by numbers or your grades. He kind of pruned me of that, like of all that pride, because I was sitting on it, like I was like on this hill of, oh, you're smart, so that's all you're ever gonna be, and that's all you have to be. And then he kind of like ripped the carpet right out from under me, and then replaced it with like wisdom, which is I feel like what a lot of my faith has been. My 9 months has been a lot about like learning and wisdom. Obviously it's learning. Every walk you're going to take anytime at any point in your faith is going to be learning, but I think a lot of it has been wisdom and like real understanding, and it's very overwhelming. Like I love just knowing about his intentionality, and that's just why I have like this perspective of just everything you do is so intentional, and it's just crazy to me. Yeah,
Which is kind of cool too. And that's like, so the main aspect of what we're talking about is you're new to the faith, plus you happen to be like super creative, like in a lot of different aspects. And we'll kind of like touch on some of those different things today. But within you being a creative person, or like even just like being an artistic person, like you're the person that designed this backdrop for us, or even like a lot of like the intro to the podcast itself, or just different things, or some of our shirts, like our camp shirts this year will be designed by you, which is kind of crazy.
Oh, that's exciting. I'm excited to see it on a shirt.
On a shirt, yeah. But like I just have to be honest, like, you know, artistic people tend to be kind of like flighty sometimes, not in a bad way. Like, it's just like, because they're artistic, they're like, their brains are kind of going crazy or whatever, but you're very, not all, so let me just make that, like, not all people, but that is kind of like, you know, sometimes like creativity or creative people tend to be like, oh, kind of like, and they have to like work harder to try to like balance and make sure that everything works. But you specifically are very genuine, and you take time and you make sure that it's just good, like it's what it's supposed to be, and not just like, you know, whatever, just for the sake of whatever. Like, you actually like work at it hard. And that's going to be my segue into the start of this, which is the verse that is specifically reminded me a lot of you in this.
What? I get a special verse?
You get a special verse, which is actually kind of cool because it's the very first aspect.
Oh,
did I steal your verse?
No, did I explain this to you, what I was going into research? Because I didn't end up researching it, but what I thought of and what was heavy on my heart when I was thinking of this topic was the first 6 days.
Right.
And like when he literally breathed life into us, and that's all it took. And it was in favor that we arose and like became life.
Right.
That's so crazy. Is that what you're about to do?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about that. Yeah, absolutely. So realistically, we're just going to be like Genesis. It's just the first couple of words within the first sentence is Genesis 1, which is super cool. It's just like the creation story, right? And so it says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. But like just specifically, God created, right?
Yes.
And then if we jump over and we go over to like 26, he says, then God said, let us make mankind in our image and our likeness, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea, the birds in the sky, over livestock and all the wild animals, and over all the creatures, and move along the ground. So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them. And so I think it's super cool because, you know, like you create so many things. And like I said, we'll talk more about it, but like you can draw, you can paint, you can like fabricate things. You can do nails, like you do like a lot of our teens' nails, which is like super cool that you do that. And you just have a lot of different creative aspects. You're creative when it comes down to like writing. You're creative, just like you just have a lot of different versions. It's kind of like it's kind of like we interviewed Joe, right? Joe can play like the guitar, but he can sing. He understands music. He can play the bass. Like it's not just like one thing, and like that's where it's at. It's like there's a thing. You're the same way, where you could do a lot of stuff. And I think like when we think about God, he didn't just like create one thing and like that was it and like called it a day. It's like he created something with intention that those things will also create. And so like when he thinks about mankind, he's like, this is very perfect in this sense. And then so like he created you, right? And so like he sees you as perfect, but then he like, since he created you, you're also a creator, and what you create, you try to have intentionality behind it, which tends to be strive for perfection within it. And a step further within that is the fact that like now that you're following the Lord, you strive to have perfection within it, serving Christ.
Crazy, because you were just saying how a lot of artists are like flighty and their minds are kind of all over the place. My personal mind is always all over the place, and that's why when I'm like thinking of ideas to give to you, or just ideas in general, that's why it's like always 8 billion texts at a time, is because my mind is all over the place. But it wasn't until like I started following God, and I think I also told you this as well, that I started creating so much more. Before that, I had one of my art teachers tell me that I always finish my work very, very fast. That's because I did not really have my heart in it. And now that there's intentionality behind my art, like with the intent to like glorify God, I take so much more time to do things. So it's not me, it's all him. Like, that's the only reason that it's kind of organized, is that I'm doing it for a reason. And there's so much on my heart to do it, and it's like it's pleasant work. It doesn't feel like work. It feels like, oh, I'm just like, I'm chilling with God. That's what we were created to do, and this is what heaven's going to be like. And we're not going to be like floating on clouds all day. There's going to be work in that. There's going to be work to worship him, because he made us to worship him with our mind, body, and soul. So like there's going to be work there, but it's not going to feel like work. And I'm already experiencing that, and that is so insane to me. I love that.
That's cool. That's cool. So yeah, we're going to get more into that, which I'm excited about. But like I said, your God-given kingdom building trait, which is so neat to know that like he's been already preparing this in you for like a while. But like it's like really like hitting, because like obviously you've already been creative for a while, because you're 18, right? So you've already been creative for a while. Like it's not like you just like found God and like out of nowhere now you're like super creative. It's like you've been creative for a while, but then now like the Lord's like kind of shifting you, and not necessarily that you've like completely like stopped anything that's not God related, but you're utilizing it to like build his kingdom and just different things like that. And so but I want to start just kind of like at the beginning, just like 9 months ago, 10 months ago, of can you like share what it's been like stepping into like faith, just like in this last couple months?
Just in the last few months?
Well, sorry, like from this very beginning. Okay. Yeah.
So basically, I kind of experienced something. I won't open up too much about it on here, but I kind of went through something, and then I went to a church in Stanton with one of our friends, Morgan. She's another senior in the youth group. And like when I was younger, I went to a youth group with my sister, and I always like had a very, very like spiritual high when I was there, but I was not like putting in the work to do it. So I've experienced like a little bit of God before. But every time I went to church when I was younger, I went with the intent of learning about something for me. Like I was like, how does this relate to me today? Like what's going on in my life that they're going to talk about here? And so I went into the church in Stanton with the intention of, oh, how is this going to relate to my life? And with like, like the thing that had just happened, I was like, how do I navigate this? The thing that just happened to me. And when I went to the church in Stanton, nothing like really that applied to my life happened, or nothing really hit me. And I just didn't resonate with it, but I was curious. And then I started going to church, not even with the intention of learning about God. I came with like 5 2-liter bottles of soda, and I wanted it to be empty by the end of the night. And I just fell in love with Jesus. Like, I don't even know what the process was. I don't know when it clicked for me. the only time I really realized that I had a relationship with Jesus at that point was potluck Sunday.
It's always over food. Always food. Always.
But after potluck Sunday, I was just like, I went home feeling so fulfilled, and I was just in the shower, and that's where I do all my thinking was in the shower, and I was just like, I was in there for like an hour praying, and I was just like, wow, like that's crazy. There's a relationship here, and there's something to be cultivated. Yeah. And I was like, I just wanted to explore that, so I just kept coming.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, it's been fun. It's been fun
very,
just to see.
Very fun.
And we've talked about this before, and I think even like your friends have talked about this before too, and even my wife Amanda, just the fact that like I think we've talked about, or your friends have talked to, like, you know, Cameron, Morgan, and Lily have all talked about you for so long, and nothing bad, obviously, just like that you are like one of their, like you're part of them, right? And now like, you know, there's just this group of you girls, but like for us, so when you came, like for us, it was kind of like, oh yeah, like there's Chelsea, you know, like there she is. Like it's like it didn't feel like we skipped a beat kind of thing for us, kind of thing.
I don't like know the moment when I became close to you. I just know I'm close to you.
Right. Which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And that's like, oh man, like it just, I don't know. I was trying to think of today like a name to call you guys, like this group of you guys, because realistically it used to be like Morgan's friends, but then like really I can't say that anymore because like you guys are Morgan's friends obviously, but like specifically like Lily and Cameron have been coming for a while also, so like it's no longer like just like, oh, and then there's Lily and Cameron, like they're here also, like this is their youth group, just like just as much as it's Morgan's. But have you guys ever seen the show, or I know like Cameron and Lily are actually behind the camera, but have you guys seen the show Recess before? You guys know what Recess is?
I wish I knew what you were referring to.
Oh, I really wish you guys know what Recess is. But for you like older like viewers, hopefully maybe there's some older viewers or maybe it's just young ones, just me. But the show Recess, like there's like the Ashleys. You guys should look it up later. It's called the Ashleys. And they're all like these, like there's like I think like 3 or 4 girls, and like they literally just like always repeat each other, and like they always talk like whatever. It's just like kind of reminds. It's not bad. Like they're not. It's not a bad thing. But
the Chanels. Have you watched Scream Queens?
No.
Are we the Chanels?
Yeah.
Not ministry.
I don't know. No, I don't. No, I don't promote that kind of stuff. That's silly. No,
never mind.
But it's kind of like it's like if like Mean Girls wasn't Mean Girls.
Oh yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah.
But like obviously they're mean, so you guys aren't mean. But yeah, so it's been cool. But like I said this earlier, and you kind of talked about this just a little bit. But what made you jump so wholeheartedly in? Because in my experience, like, you know, like you could have hit senioritis really hard, and you can be like, I'm not like spending any time doing this stuff like that. I know my life. I know what I'm about to go do. Like I have no time for any of this other stuff. But you like, you know, had to come and do your little project and like get all of us to like finish your soda bottles. Yeah. And then you said like you like really understood, and you're like, whoa, this is cool. This is a relationship. What made you like go like, yeah, like this is what I want to do. Like this is it.
I think it's just because I've never felt like this before. Like I've never been totally fulfilled. Obviously I've been like happy, but I've always kind of thought that my entire life I've just been waiting for another ball to drop, or the shoe. I don't know the reference. Yeah. But it's always kind of just been waves, and I always knew that. I was always like, I just am waiting for something to happen even when I'm happy. I've just never been stable. Right. Like I think even if I mean, I know I'm not saying I'm totally stable now, but I know that I'm backed by something. Yeah. There's always something for me to lean back on. And even when I'm like super emotional, I know there's like something for me to lean back on. So I guess that's why. And then on top of that, I'm kind of like an all or nothing person. I think I've always kind of just been that way, where if I put my mind on something, then I really do like intend to complete it. But this is not like a task to complete. It's just like, this is something I want to pursue because I've never felt so fulfilled doing it. Right.
So you're saying feeling, like, do you feel like it's an emotional thing? No. How do you differentiate between like it being emotional and feeling?
Because after apologetics, I had this like, I've talked about this before, but when we were doing the idolization episode with Sean and Joe, but there was a night where I had like a really, really, really emotional like high and low, and then I went upstairs and I cried, and I felt like so okay because I was crying to God. I was at his feet. Like I was okay. Right. Yeah. So even in like all my emotions, I was with him. So it's okay.
So you're like, it wasn't just like an emotional, like you actually felt the presence of the Lord with you. Like,
like I knew what I was feeling. That was my emotion. That was crazy.
Right.
I was sobbing. I was so like in my heart, in my deceitful heart, sad.
Yeah.
But my spirit knew that I was with God, so I was okay.
Yeah. That's cool. So with this, like, I don't know, I was thinking about this idea of like, it's like not a phase, Mom. Like, Mom, it's not a phase. Like,
oh, you don't understand me.
You don't understand me. Like, you don't know this.
It's not a phase.
You don't know. It's not a phase. Like, so how's this not a phase for you?
I'm pretty sure it's not a phase because it's been running for 9 months now. I don't think I can turn back.
It's for sure not a phase. Like, it's not.
A lot where it's just like you try to go back on it, and I obviously have my doubts because, like, I'm still of flesh. Like, I still have my doubts and I still have my fears, and I'm just like, what if he's not though? But everything I've seen, how could he not be?
Right. None
of these things are just coincidence. Like, that would be insane for each of these sequence of events to be a coincidence, and I can say that for a fact because every time a prayer is answered, I mean, obviously it could be coincidence, but it's not. There's so much intentionality in the answered prayer because it teaches me something. Like, I say this to, like, I've said this to you and Joe a lot, where it just feels like everything that I do or every inconvenience that I have to go through, there's a lesson behind it. Yeah. And either that's my mindset that I go in with, and that's why it feels like there's a lesson behind it, but I genuinely, like, learn something in everything that I do. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Well, it's not a phase, I can tell, because you've, like, been pretty steady, and like you might think you've had ups and downs, but realistically maybe even your friends would probably even say, like, even through some of those ups and downs, those were like moments where it's like, whoa, like you could really see you, like, even though for you it was a low, it was like more of you holding on to the Father, like how we talked about on Wednesday, right? Like abiding, right? Like you're really abiding. Are they laughing? Yeah, they're giggling. It's gonna be a fun episode because we have them behind the camera, which is gonna be fun too because we're gonna actually film Cameron's after this. We're gonna do double. A bonus episode coming this week also. So bonus episode. Yeah, I'm not gonna wait. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna drop yours and then we'll do Cameron's also, just because I've been having so many people, which is kind of funny. I didn't tell you this, but I've had so many people to ask me, like, when's the next episode? When can I be waiting for the next episode?
That.
And I was like, dang, where are the comments? We need some comments.
Yes.
So please comment.
Okay. It's all gonna be me on like 8 billion different accounts.
Yeah, for real. Please comment. Please. No, because we really do want to know what people are thinking and saying, and we just want to make sure that we're doing it. But realistically, at the end of the day, like, you're the one that actually has been helping me with this, is like knowing that, like, it doesn't matter like who's watching or not. No. It's just for the conversations and just like to have these conversations, which I'm really thankful I get to do these ones with you guys, because like it's making it more personal for me with you guys and just be able to think about it. Yeah. So I'm excited. Let me look at my next questions here. And so let's get into the idea of like the creativity aspect of it. How's like your view of creativity changed since coming to know Jesus? You got notes?
Yeah.
Dang.
I mean, not even notes. This is just like, okay. So, you know, I was saying about how throughout my 9 months it's kind of been about wisdom. I think he was preparing me for this moment because I didn't take any like new notes at all. This is all like stuff that I've accumulated over my 9 months.
Right.
So let's look.
Dang. Crazy. All my notes are just in my head, just swirling around.
I can't do that. I cannot.
Swirling around. Don't worry, I can't do it either.
And I'll be like, no.
I can't do it either.
But they're there. He told me something and I didn't write it down. Like that makes me really sad to think about.
Yeah. All the lost thoughts in my head, just gone forever.
That's silly. I think you asked, what was your question?
So, like, how has your view of, like, being creative changed since, like, coming to know Jesus? And you did touch on that just, like, a little bit, but...
I think I've been totally pruned, where it's... Like, I was talking to you about my intelligence, like, how I've been very academically rewarded. That was kind of, like, ripped out from under me, and then I felt like I had totally nothing. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. Like, it didn't really mean anything or add any value to my life. And obviously, like... That's the very, very, very low part of it. Like, I know I'm smart, like, or at least academically. I think I'm okay. I feel like sometimes I turn my brain off, but
it's probably because it's moving constantly. It's constantly going.
Yeah, but he kind of replaced it with wisdom and like understanding and applying it to something else, where it's not just for school. Like, I did not create you just so you could get good grades and look at this A and be like, oh, that's great, like this is me, I'm an A plus, like on this stupid test that's not following you to heaven. But even in my worldly view, it's just like, that's not you, that's not what you were created for. And I think just, oh my goodness, my earring.
Man, Lily said that earlier too.
I know, she was like, I always find your jewelry everywhere. It's fine. It's just gonna go with the single. But I think a lot of where the creativity comes from is because that's like what I was created for. I think about that a lot. It's just like, what was I created for? And it was just to worship him. That's with mind, body, and soul. Right. That's cool. What are they laughing about?
There's knuckleheads behind the camera. Just ignore them.
But something that I really, really, really enjoyed was David Stubblefield's lesson during apologetics. And he was talking about how...
Oh, I was like, how did you remember the name? I forgot you have the notes. I was like,
also, no, but his name is ringing in my head all the time because his lesson to me was like crazy.
Wait, his was like the one that we like sat like front row, right? Yeah, that one blew me away.
It was crazy. That one was cool. And I had never really truly thought about like how our story is continuous. Like, the Bible does not just end with revelations. Like, it's continuing. And I don't know. There's just going to be, maybe there's going to be a Bible in heaven and all of our names are going to be in it. Like, that's crazy to think about. Yeah. But he was just talking about how this great tale will never end. And how there were once angels and demons, but there was also a creator. There was somebody that created all of that. Right. And there's a reason. Whoa. Sorry. It's allergy season. Yeah. That's terrible. But there's a reason that everything works the way it does. And there's a reason that we were created. And again, it was to worship him. And I keep saying that, but what does that mean? Like, why am I so focused on the fact that my entire life was created so I could worship my creator? Right. It's because he created he created intelligence. He created like science. He's created medicine and creation, like us, and then biology, animals, just everything on this earth, even engineering, even technology, even the things in our modern day where we're just like, that's not natural. It's not natural, but somebody created it for it to be seeked out and then like created. Like, what? I keep saying created. I don't know.
It's all about creativity today.
It really, that's today's topic. So I mean, I'm gonna say it as much as I want, but he made everything. And a revelation that I had while reading Proverbs was how he created intelligence and wisdom before he created the earth. So that meant that he created, oh my gosh, let me go to it. Let me find it. Oh no, it says 8. Yeah, Proverbs 8:22. The Lord acquired me at the beginning of his creation, before his works of long ago. I was formed before ancient times, from the beginning. Before the earth began, I was born when there was no watery depths. And then it goes on to like describe everything that God has created. But I'll just read my notes because I don't know if I can like develop it right now. But I was just like, wow, the earth was created after wisdom. Like, with wisdom in the Father's mind, he created us with curiosity and intellect. So he created wisdom and knowledge, and then created us with like curiosity and intent to find wisdom. Right. Like, isn't that just, that's it crazy. Just goes hand in hand, and the puzzle pieces just click so perfectly, and that is so bewildering and very, very like, what is the oh my goodness, fascinating. Yeah. Like, just the fact, and even in my curiosity about wisdom, the fact that I'm curious about wisdom, like, that is so crazy. Right. And just it's just so overwhelming, and how much bigger the picture than is just us. Right. And just the things that we're looking at, and just the things that we're exploring. There's beyond that. Right. And that's why, like, I guess this changed my perspective of creativity, is because there's so much more to everything you're doing. Right. So the fact that what I'm doing adds to something bigger, I think that just means a lot to me. Right. and the fact that it is also applying to like the kingdom and it'll build his kingdom, that is also very, very meaningful. And just like selfishly, the fact that I've created way more, like quantity wise, while I was in his kingdom. I think I told you I created more in like a week while I was a Christian than I did in a year while I was like living in the world. That is insane. Cool. And that is not me.
That's cool.
That's him. Like,
that's cool. That's cool.
That is crazy to me.
It's kind of funny that what you're describing, which I don't even know if you've made the parallel to this at all in what you're saying, but who sought after not wisdom but knowledge in the beginning?
In the beginning?
Yeah. The beginning of the Bible.
Oh.
Who sought after knowledge? Yeah. That ruined it for everyone.
Oh, Satan.
Well, Adam and Eve, yeah.
Oh, Adam.
Like, because of saying. No, because of saying. Sorry, I do this all the time to you guys. And you guys are like, I don't know which one's the answer. I don't know which one. Yeah.
It always feels like a trick.
It's not a trick question, no. But I want you to see like the parallel in what you're saying, because what you're specifically talking about is this idea of wisdom, right? And sometimes wisdom and knowledge become kind of intertwined a little bit, or they kind of like they get used the same. But we understand that wisdom is this thing that the Lord gives us, right? And I mean, obviously people become wise and they become wise over their years and different things like that. But you're seeking after something that it's from the Lord versus, you know, Adam and Eve, like in the fall, like they were specifically like tempted and like deceived into doing something so they can understand full knowledge. And you're not doing it from a selfish perspective of like, man, like I want to become more wise, or like I see like there's so much more to my creativity or whatever. For you, it's really not even that. It's more of like this sense of like, I want to belong. I desire to like be with the Lord. So do you see how like even like within, like that's like a mature thing, like to like, you're not saying like, well, I'm becoming more knowledgeable, I'm becoming more understanding. You're like, no, like the Lord is showing me more of who he is and like my purpose and creativity, which is kind of neat too, because like I've even watched you like draw something like really cool, or like make something really cool, and like we've had to throw it away, or just like it's only used for like that small purpose. I could never do that and create what you created, and you do it, and like we have to get rid of it, and we're just like, and I'm like, what? Like that's so crazy to be able to like throw something away that's like I don't have a perfect example, but there's something.
I've never thought of that before.
You know what I'm saying?
Or just like wiping the board off. Yeah.
Or wiping this board off. I'm like, dang, like you draw like really good stuff, and like for like I said, like I can never do something like that. Like, so for me, if I did that once, I'd be like, like
you take the board down and take it home.
Yeah. Like I'm gonna frame this. I'm gonna put it in my mom's fridge. But like you just like and so I don't know. It's kind of cool to see what you're saying in this whole aspect of like this idea of wisdom and like just this revelation of who God is being from the very beginning, is because he desired us to want to be more part of his creation and not just be little robots in his creation, but to actually formulate within it. And I see you doing that.
I forgot to circle back. Everything that I do leads back to God. And I know that's so corny. It's like, oh, all roads lead back to God, but it really does. Like, there's no way that you think medicine was just like, oh, somebody just thought of this and created this and it randomly heals people. Oh, wow, I just put this together and it randomly heals people.
Right.
There's a reason for that. Right. Like, there's a very, very, very good reason for that. And it's because God is good.
Right.
Like, and it's crazy that you talk about humility, because I do struggle sometimes, like, with pride. Like, I do struggle, obviously. I mean, if I said, like you say, if you're saying that you aren't prideful, you definitely have something to check.
Right.
But after I read that verse in the same night, I wrote, because I read Proverbs 10:9, call to humility, and this is something that stuck out to me, even though it is like a given, like don't practice your faith in vain and seeking glory for yourself. And then I wrote, shed yourself of your pride before others, or you'll be exposed, because if you're bearing bad fruit, people are gonna see.
Amen, sister. This is so true.
And then it says, but those that bear the fruit of integrity are secure and protected, therefore recognized by the Father. And that's the only person you're looking for, like, impressed, like, for him to be impressed.
Right.
Like, you really only care about your Father's validation and approval.
Right. So how's that for you then? Like, because I'm sure, like, and I've never really seen you be like this, but I'm sure, like, somewhere, like, within you, like, you are, like, when you do something or you finish something, you're like kind of proud in it. You kind of love what people like say, like for example, like maybe doing Maddie's nails or like the girls' nails. They're like, oh my gosh, like that's so good. And like you kind of feel like, oh, good, because like they're telling you like it looks good. So you feel kind of like validation in that. How how does your validation from the Lord over, like, how is that, like, greater than, like, the, I don't know, like, the compliments from, like, man?
I think the only thing that I do feel that type of validation from, like, from man, is with nails. But everything else that I've done, like, the board, I got really, really sick of looking at it. So I don't know if I have an answer for this. Actually, no, I do have an answer for this, but it's just, like I said, there was a bigger picture. So just the fact that there's projects that I'm doing, like, this is a huge thing. And the fact that it adds to the kingdom, that's the fulfilling part. And it's not like validation, it's just fulfillment. Like, I get to do something, and then I see it flourish, and I can see it grow. And even if it isn't growing, I got to do it because I did it with love for God in my heart. Yeah. So,
like, to be more part of a story. That's like what I'm hearing from you.
Yeah. Like, I've done something. I've added to something. Right. Yeah. And then I guess I don't really seek validation with people through my arts. I seek it with, like, weariness that I'm not bearing good fruit. I told, like, all of my friends this, and I don't think I told you this actually, but I was feeling a lot of pressure after the idolization episode where I was receiving a really bad spiritual attack.
Oh yeah, no, I do remember. Yeah.
But I felt, I did tell you this actually. Okay. Yeah. But I was feeling very unworthy, and I was feeling like I was doing it with pride. I don't know that I was, and I won't look back on it because, gosh, it was a rough time. Right. But
you've overcome it. Huh? But you've overcome it.
Yeah.
So you can look back at it, knowing that you've overcome.
But I was just like, wow, I do not feel worthy enough to do any of this. Like, I don't feel worthy enough to do the podcast or, like, mic'd up or just anything. I just didn't feel worthy of having any, like, having a hand or having any contribution to his kingdom. And I was just like, whoa, I do not want to do this anymore because I feel like I'm doing it unequipped, and I felt like I'm not about to cry. It sounds like I am, but I'm not. Okay. No. Okay.
Maybe?
No. Okay. I'm not, like, I don't feel emotional right
now.
I
get like $15 if she does.
Okay. No, I'm not about to cry. But it's just like, I did cry when I was telling them because, whoa, it was like a really bad, I came back from Extrav and I was like, okay, now I understand it. Like, any foot forward into the kingdom is good for you. Wow. Like, it doesn't matter if you feel unequipped or if you feel unworthy or if you even are worthy. If you're putting a foot forward into the kingdom, that's all that matters.
Dang. Okay, preach. What?
I don't even know where that came from.
That was good. What the? Yeah, that was good.
But, yeah, okay, sorry. I lost where I was going with that, but I was very weary that I wasn't. That's called
the Holy Spirit just speaking through you right now. That was kind of cool.
I was so scared.
Real time. That was neat.
I don't even know what just happened, actually. Okay, but I was feeling very unequipped or very unworthy, and I, like, cried to, like, Lily and Cameron about this, and I was just like, I just don't feel like I'm okay to do this. And I even told you, I was like, I don't think I want to do it anymore. Yeah. But that's the only validation I seek is if I'm bearing good fruit. And I think that's an okay thing to be weary if you are bearing good fruit, because that means that you're working towards bearing good fruit. Right. Yeah.
Right. That's cool. Yeah. That's good. Okay, so we've talked about, like, just the fact that, like, the Lord has, like, really, and I don't think to say is, like, he's, like, completely changed your, like, vision of, like, creativity. I guess, like now it's, like, focused on, like, him, and that's, like, probably what's driving majority of it. But, like, what are some things that now that you're going to be doing, or that you maybe, like, some projects that, like, the Lord has put on your heart that you're, like, thinking of, like, right now that, like, specifically are about him and, like, just helping him? And don't get too much into school yet, because we're going to talk about that later.
Okay. I think this is what I've mainly focused on nurturing for so long that I haven't really thought of, like, a new project, but I'm really, really excited to, like, design Caleb's tattoo, because he has a vision, and yours. I can't wait to, like, I might add color to it for myself. I know you're not doing any color on it, but I'm excited to, like, add color to that. Right. And these are small projects, but I'm very excited to do them. Caleb's,
I mean, they're meaningful. Yeah. They're kind of eternal projects. So.
Yeah, that's crazy. And Caleb, he had a really good idea I haven't really been able to like think back on it. I'm gonna probably ask him about it sometime soon so that we can start working on that. But just little things here and there, like nurturing this is my biggest thing on my heart right now.
Why?
And then because I love having conversations.
Mm-hmm.
I truly like, I think they're so valuable and they add so much to your own life.
Mm-hmm.
Like you recall this conversation and you pick back up on it, and then sometimes it plants a seed.
Yeah, that's true.
As corny as that sounds, like, oh, just love like Jesus so lives will change. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but when you have a genuine conversation with somebody and you're talking about God or even anything, like they'll recall the conversation and then come back on it. I do that all the time.
Yeah. That's good.
So
that's good. That's cool. So I'm excited for what is to come more, because I know that you have a lot of stuff in your mind and on your mind. I think realistically too, you're just trying to get through this next week.
Yes, I'm so over school.
You're so over school.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I'm sure there's stuff, like, I'm sure once I'm out of school. Oh my gosh, wait, hold on. Something so silly. It's not very God-centered, but it's Minecraft. I'm so excited to finish my little land thing.
On Minecraft? Yeah. Well, actually, that's not, I mean, you can't say that's not God-centered, because realistically, part of the reason that we all like playing together is because we get to talk common union.
Yeah,
like we get to like, it's kind of like which is interesting too, because I always tell you, I'm not a very creative person. I'm not, like, I really am not. But like for some reason in Minecraft, like I can get down in Minecraft. Like I could like one by one blocks, like putting those things together. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. But you've helped me with that. And so I am excited for those, because we've had some, like Sean and I have been on a lot recently. And we've been having some deep conversations. We're both like, man, like where's everybody at?
And then we do end up talking about Jesus most of the time. So it's fine.
It really is. I think it's just kind of a cool avenue. So like, do you think about yourself like as a creator at all?
I haven't until recently, just because at my birthday, while we were we were singing the song "So Will I," and it's actually pulled up on my phone right now because it's been heavy on my heart. Or it's just like I can see your heart in everything you do or you create, and I'm just like, what? Like, I can see his heart in everything he does. Yeah. So I realized that he's given me a gift that was so pivotal, like in his, just the concept of him is that he's the creator. That's like how you describe him. It's like he's a provider, he's a creator, he's a father, he's the Lord. Right. Like, that is so, I don't know. It's just, it's a huge part of him. Right. And I was like, I was gifted with this huge part of him. Yeah. And I get to see things from, like, or at least not visually. I have the heart that he had when I create. Right. Like, I'm not great with people, so I won't say I love and see people just like him, but I see things like, not tangible things, just like, I don't know. Like, this, when I'm looking at this is like my baby, or just this is my baby. The podcast is my baby. Right. And I look at it with his eyes, and that is crazy that he gave me a way to be like him. Right. Like, and that was birth. Like, I was born like that. Right. It wasn't cultivated. Like, we strive on a daily basis to be like Jesus, but there's parts of him that he just gave to us. Right. That make us like him. Right. Well, realistically, like the term prevenient grace? Do you remember this term? Prevenient grace? No. Have I talked to you about this? I've probably mentioned it before, but it's this idea of like God's grace before we realized we needed it. And so like, it's like kind of the thing that was working in you for like years and years before like you fully jumped in to like the Lord. Like, that's why it's like, it kind of felt natural when like because he's actually been working in your life for a long time. And I think that's like the point to where you're at, is like, he's been working in you for a long time. He's been cultivating something within you. Obviously he gave you the gift, right? He gave you, like, you are who you are today because of him. Because obviously he gave you the breath within your lungs, right? But I think what you're starting to see, which is kind of like a cool imagery, which you do a really good job with this also, this idea of creating imagery, but I mean, you're creative and you can draw, so images. But you are recognizing your purpose and your image that bears God's image,
which is kind of cool to see that, right? And so, because you can see it like on a different perspective than maybe other people, because like you can see things visually, or like just from a, I don't know, like to you, it's like, yeah, like that makes sense, like that goes together, where all of us are like, what, how did you even see that? And it's like it's kind of like the Lord has put that within your life, and so it's like it's your time to be like worship the Lord, which is kind of neat to see that. And so I think hold on to that, like keep allowing the Lord to reveal himself to you, and like the fact that you are worthy to be part of his creation. And like because of that, he's showing you, like he's allowing you to come alongside within his creative, like his creation. And like you get to be a part of it. Now don't let it obviously, like, and you're not egotistical and stuff like that, like you are humble, but like he is bringing you along on that journey.
I try to separate myself from like any title, because I think for a while I've been titling myself or like giving myself a title in my own head and trying to live up to that. So I won't say like I'm a creator, but I got gifted with like the gift of his ability to see creation, right, or visualize or make imagery. So that's where I keep myself grounded and humble and know that it's for him, is that I remove myself from the title, because I don't want to go back to that. I miss that.
That's cool though. It's like actually really neat to be able to see things, and we all have this, like we all have gifts, like it's not like, oh, they're specific, like people like have, but the Lord does allow us to see him in different places, and like it's kind of neat because you get to see him in a different way than maybe other people that are not artistic, whether it's like musically artistic or, you know, drama or whatever it is. Like you can see the Lord in a different way, and that's cool. Like that's neat. And so I think like in those moments, like when you're like, Lord, I don't know, like, or that doubting, you know, that you like that we talk about, like that even I feel that at many times, right? It's being reminded of who he is, and like nobody could have painted who he is. Like nobody could create who he is. Like he obviously is him, and he is it. Like he was from the very beginning to the very end, forever. And so like the fact that he chose you to be like, you know what? I think you're gonna be really good to like
that's wild
to like help my creation and like be a part of my creation.
God was like, oh yeah, this is something that totally like wrecked me when I first started coming to Christ, was that he created us so intentionally, like with gifts in mind. Like that's a Build-A-Bear. Like he was like, you know what I'm talking about, when you put a little heart in
a little heart, and then you sew it up.
Like he gave us a little heart shaped him in us.
Whoa.
Like that is so funny. I mean, it's so funny the way I'm describing it, but it's just so cool. I'll say that so many times, just like throughout the days, that wow, that's so cool, because it's so intentional. I can't stop saying that either, but it is like that's him. That's all him. Like he's created this so that it could work this way. Like that is so cool. That's cool. So do you think it's like, I mean, I know it is, but like is it like deepening your faith? Is it like because this is something so natural to you, are you recognizing him so much more and more and more that like your faith is just becoming like, or is it you kind of don't, are they separate of each other? Like I don't know. My faith and my creativity?
Yeah, I'm not trying to like make it that creativity is just all who you are, but like you are a very creative person, so it's kind of hard to like think of you and not think.
Actually, I think it's only because of my faith that I've recognized my creativity, because before that, like I knew I was like I can draw type of person. Like I can draw. It was how I thought of myself. But I've never really truly thought I was a creative person until I started walking with Christ.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Like I knew I was artistically talented, but I didn't think I was creative until I started following Christ. I think it's neat because we like told you that you should, for extravaganza, like the competition that we do every year, where it's like, you know, you use your God-given talents to do sports or art or singing or some kind of thing, or maybe like, you know, like what are the teens that just came to hang out, but we like told you that you should do like one of the art things or whatever, and you weren't like really sure, you didn't know what you wanted to do, like you were kind of like tossing it back and forth. You were also kind of busy at that time, so you're like, I don't know if I have time to do a lot of these things. And then it's like kind of was hitting you at the same time, and we talked about this like like it was hitting me at the same time of like Isaiah 6, and it talks about like the throne room or whatever. And then like you were like, I was like, it's so crazy to think about too, because I like once again, like I can picture things once they're done, and I can tell you if it looks good or not, like in my eye, but like to kind of create it, I'm like, I don't know what that looked like, where you like
had this concept of like what that would look like for you to like be in the throne room with the Father and like seeing his like the robe and like the angels crying holy, holy, holy kind of thing. And then like you drew it and then you were like, oh, I'm not really sure. But like your I'm not really sure if it looked good wasn't from a place of like, oh, I could have probably drawn this better. It was more of like a, who am I to try to like
draw the throne room?
Drawing the throne room. I was like, that's where you got from that? I was like, that's so crazy. Yeah. Which is cool.
When I was, that's just crazy that I thought that song, like, it created an image of in my mind too. And it's just very like, I don't know, like kind of side tangent. The way I saw it in my mind was the throne was empty because nobody's ever seen the face of God. And Jesus on the floor with us praying because he was created to be like us and see like us. That's just kind of how I see the throne room. And that's still how I see the throne room. But I guess this is kind of funny. But on Easter, Pastor Cal, he described the throne room like as, well, I mean, with the angels and everything. I knew the angels were in there, but I didn't draw them because I don't want to draw like a ball of 8 billion eyes with like 6 wings. That's kind of scary. No, and we were laughing about this like a few days ago. We were like, angels, like, they're just telling us, don't be scared. Like, how am I not supposed to be scared of you? You're like terrifying. Horror film, Okay. The image kind of changed in my mind because he was like talking about how the throne was super like huge, and obviously that's how I drew the throne was huge. Yeah. But he was talking about how God had like thunder and lightning around him, and like that's low key scary, and everybody was like, that's kind of cool, and I was like, that's low key scary.
It's like a glass floor, like thunder, and it's kind of cool. I don't know.
No, that's so like, I mean, God fearing, yes, but like I'm actually fearful a little because that's like when you're in your prayer is when you think when you should be in your safe space. So if the thunder and lightning made it feel like a little bit hostile.
It's not like it's like not as comforting, and it's like I was all warm embracing. You're like, what is all this?
Yeah, that's the side tangent that I was talking about though. Was the imagery that changed in my mind. But just the fact that for me, or the way God showed it to me, was that the throne was empty and there was something to relate to, like, or somebody to relate to next to me, which is why Jesus was created.
Yeah. That's good. That's cool. But the imagery I kind of have of this idea of like drawing something. And I mean, I guess realistically, maybe it's even more like writing, but like when you draw and like something's messed up or whatever, you can like kind of erase it. Like if it's painting or if it's like in pen, you mess up, you have to like scrap it. Like you have to like erase it and like, or you have to like crumple it up and like throw it away. And sometimes we think that the Lord does that to us. That's like where our shame and guilt comes from, is like the Lord is like done with us and through with us because we mess up and we have fallen short, but we forget like he's the perfect artist and God doesn't mess up at all and doesn't, like, he didn't mess up making you. Yeah. Right. And so even when you think that you're a failure or you didn't do right, or even like this idea of maybe even speaking death into people, remembering the fact that like you're kind of saying it, but like that he's greater than anything that you could ever say. Yeah. And so like having grace upon yourself, the grace that he has for you already is like knowing that like you're part of a process. You're not perfect today. You're being perfected, which is such a cool aspect of it. Cause like think about like your artwork or some art that you've done where you've worked on it for a long time, where you come back to it and you look at it and you like kind of like erase here and there, and then you kind of do something different, and then you come back and you're like, man, I really like how I did that or whatever. Like the Lord's like constantly looking at you going like, man, like you are exactly like the way I want you to be, kind of thing. It's that we in our like, you know, perversion as like people, we taint or distort, that's the word I was looking for, distort like what God tried to create us as, and then we actually like make us look bad versus like the Lord's like, no, like I mean, okay. Like just keep moving. Just keep moving. I got you. And so I think with you, like, just remembering like you're part of a process that's still growing. It's like kind of cool. Like even though like, you know, you're a little bit newer to the faith, it's not like, oh, like you're just this baby Christian. Like that's not the point of it. Like you are someone that's like actually viewing the Lord and who he is. It's just like you also, while you're doing it in that process, let him fine tune you. Don't let yourself like be like, oh man, like I'm such a bad person. Like I like crumple and like start all over. Let him like prune, right? You're saying erase. Let him erase some of the rough edges.
Yeah, you don't start back from square one.
No, he doesn't. Yeah,
it doesn't mean like your faith is gone.
Yeah.
Actually, it doesn't mean anything about your faith. It just means that your flesh has taken over, and you're just letting your flesh control your spirit.
Yeah,
and you're like muffling your spirit.
Yeah,
but that doesn't mean anything about your faith.
Right.
You still love God. You still love Jesus.
Yeah.
Just keep moving that way.
Yeah. Keep your eyes centered on him. Let him do the work.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so good. Man, all these good nuggets. So cool. Ooh. Now I'm hungry. So
Did you see Taco Bell came out with nuggets?
No.
Isn't that crazy?
I don't know if I'll do Taco Bell though. I mean, that end well with me. I'm excited for you in this next journey because you've made some pretty big decisions this last, we'll just say kind of a year. Even though it's like 9 months, we'll say like close to a year, right?
Yeah.
But like you've made some pretty, like you've like accepted your life, like, you know, you've fully like accepted your relationship with the Lord. Like you've talked about maybe even becoming baptized.
Can you sign up for that?
I know you guys. Yeah.
Are you baptizing me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If you're all about it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd be honored to if you allow me to. But like even school decisions, like things that like you've been kind of dreaming of for a while, you know, like doors close or different things happen and kind of like that. And then now you've made some other decisions that now you're really excited about. Like what's next for you? Like what is next for Chelsea?
What's next for me? I'm hoping this is like, I think a lot of people expect to go into the world to change something and be ready to change something. I just want to add to it. And then with that addition, like maybe change the culture at the school I'm going to. I won't say too much because I think everybody knows what I'm talking about already. But I felt called to go to SNU because I wanted to help impact the culture there. Not because I wanted to help impact the culture there. I'm the most like, I don't want this attention type of person. Right. I feel like I don't want that type of attention, but God called me to change something. Right.
So. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. Well, I'm excited for you. I'm excited that you are choosing, that you chose SNU, that you're going to go there. I think they're, I mean, I think it's going to be good. I think you're going to have fun there. I think it's going to be a good school for you. I think that you're going to learn lots and you get to go with Morgan. Definitely going to be a learning experience. Yeah. Not even just like educationally, but it's going to be probably going to be a test on my faith too. Yeah. And because I know that I'm going in with like the right equipment. Like I have the Lord. I'm gonna be okay. Right here. This is all you need. This is you don't need like your friends. Well, I mean, always have your friends, but like you don't need like anything other than like the Lord and like His words and His wisdom for you, right? Like that's like really the thing that matters. And and like I said, I think you're gonna learn lots there. And there's like a lot of cool people there, and there's a lot of people that are excited. Like I got to talk to do you know Liam? You know, like Pastor Michelle. Like so Liam is over there, and I got to tell him that you guys are going there today, and he was actually really excited. Like he's really stoked that you guys will be there. And the culture is changing there. The culture is changing. Yeah. And just I don't know, it's just neat. And it's just, I mean, like the way that schools work, right? Like people come and there's like just different groups and seasons and different things like that, and just kind of cool to watch a lot of like really, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's cool people at SNU, like don't like that's not what I'm trying to say, but like just to watch like some people that I think that are pretty rad people like go up there and like kind of add some different perspectives and different things, and like, you know, you're just a very creative person, so I know that you'll be able to help in so many ways, and I know that you'll serve, and they I don't know, that's just kind of cool. I'm really excited for you, so like be happy for this next season. No, I'm excited. Even though you're maybe a little nervous and maybe like I'm a little nervous because if it really truly was up to me, I don't think I would want to like go and like, do you see what I'm talking about? Like I don't want to go and be like, hey, I'm here. That's probably not what I'm gonna do, but God called me to go, and I'm just like begrudgingly walking because like I know that I'm supposed to, and I'm supposed to be obedient, but truthfully, if it was up to me, I don't want to go and be like, hey, I'm here, but I'm gonna go and be like, hey, I'm here. Well, I think you also just go with like hi, I'm Chelsea, like I'm like a daughter of the King, and like I'm just here to like do his like be part of his will, right? And just serve him and serve others and just love. And I think, I mean, realistically, like the first like year or two, like you're going to be just like in schoolwork. So like it's a lot of that. You're going to make friends. There's a lot of cool people up there that you'll make friends with. There's a lot of cool communities, which I'm really excited for you to be part of. And just like, and like I said, I'm just like very honest when I say this, like about you and Morgan, like, and all of the people that are up at SNU now that are from our church. Like I'm grateful that you guys are all up there because you guys get to like, obviously I want people to meet you. Like if I want to introduce you to people because I want people to like have some Chelsea in their life and some Morgan in their life and like, you know, all that. And so I'm excited for this next season for you. So just don't go into it feeling like you have to like do something and create that
I'm
for you.
very excited for that part.
Yeah.
Like for the new friends and like new experiences. Yeah. But the bigger calling is what I'm a little fearful of. Yeah.
Knowing what that looks like. But I think he's going to reveal that to you. And it may not even be anything that you ever thought. Right. But it's obviously going to be part of your gifting because it really is like a big part of your life. Like it's evident that this is what the Lord has put on your heart. And so I'm excited. I'm excited for what the Lord's going to do. And we're praying for you. And what I'm like really excited about for you specifically is like, I'll say from this perspective is like I'm not worried about you. Does that make sense? Like, I'm not worried about you. I'm not worried about you. Like, I think you're good. I think, like, I mean, we're all human. We all, whatever, different things like that. So don't think, like, I have, like, high expectations or anything like that in that sense. But I just know that you're going to just do well and you're going to succeed and you're going to, as long as you just keep your eyes focused on the Lord. Yeah.
Not to be prideful, but I know God's got me.
He does.
Like, actually.
That's not prideful. That's not prideful at all. That's accepting who God is. Yeah. So it's cool. Okay, so let me ask you this question. And I have to say this because I do talk to you about this a lot, and you kind of like give me these eyes of like I don't know what you're talking about, and I think it's just like a creative. I think it's like a very artistic person's like way of doing things, but like artistic people don't understand sometimes unless you're like super like arrogant. They don't understand sometimes that like majority people that are not artistic don't understand or don't see things the way that artistic people do. And so what would you tell our listeners that would say like me that they would say I have zero creativity? What would you tell them? Because that's not true. No, that's not a true statement.
I don't think that is true. I think it's just the intention behind what they're doing.
Right.
So I guess if you're like doing schoolwork and it's school, nobody really wants to do schoolwork and you're like you have to make something for school.
Right.
That's like not the wrong intention because you're completing your work, but your heart is not fixed on the right thing. Right. So you don't want to make it.
Right.
But when you have God in your life and when you are following Christ and your eyes are fixed on the cross, it's so different. Like you see everything so differently and you desire to create everything so differently and you create like you desire to make different things. So I guess it's just what are you doing that is making you not feel creative? Yeah. Because I think there's definitely things that God will show to you that you will want to explore. Right. And creativity is not like it doesn't have to be art. Right. Sometimes it's with like technology and engineers. I think that's that's one of the craziest things ever to me. It's so fascinating to me, but I don't think I could explore that because to me, that's not where my creativity lies. It's with like actual like this like fine arts. Right. But I think just what has God called you to explore and cultivate, because that's what he created you to do. Right. So like
what would you say to those that would say that they're not creative or they don't see creativity in what they do?
I say it's just like look at what you're doing, because there's creativity in everything. I don't think it's true that a single person is just not creative, because look at the Lord. There's creativity in literally everything that he's done. And because of that, we have medicine and like technology and things like engineering, which is so fascinating to me, is like there was creativity in that. There's functional design. Like nothing was made without intention in mind. So there's creativity in everything. So it just looks like, look at what you're doing and determine from there. Like if you're doing schoolwork, obviously you're not going to feel like you're super creative, because you don't want to do it, but look at what God has made you to do was to cultivate and like seek him in everything you're doing. So your intention should be on him and listen to what he's calling you to do. And with that, you're going to see so much more. You're going to see things in a very different way. Like musicians, I'm not going to say they see with like beats and stuff like that. I don't know how that works, but clearly because I have a different like creative mindset, but and it's more like contained to like fine arts and stuff like that. But obviously because I can't explain how musicians think, but I know they think in a different way. It's just what you have your heart and your mindset on. It's just the intention behind it. What are you doing that's making you not feel creative? So that's
good. That's cool. And I don't want to like beat a beat a dead horse or anything, but like, or be like, oh, you're like this new Christian. Like, that's not my point. But what would you say to those that maybe have doubt, or maybe like they're new to the faith, or maybe they haven't even like even accepted Jesus into their heart? Like, what would you, like, all those places, or even those that are like have been in it for a long time, or like really,
and then they're just not feeling it anymore. I think we hear God a lot more than we think we do, and that's why we're always searching for a feeling. But I think he's always around, and we're just not listening. So I say I'm trying to think about what it felt like for me when I first like found him, and I was super like fulfilled with his Holy Spirit. I think obedience. I think a lot of people, when they are strayed and they feel like they're far from God, it's because they're sitting in their sin, like I've said before. I think just refine your obedience, because that's not what he's expecting you to do, is sit in your sin, or he's not shaming you, or he doesn't say you are now like you don't have any way back to me because you've sinned. The only thing sin does is bring us further away. It does not cut us off from God. There are no ties cut when you sin. So I think it's just obedience. I think that was like one of the first times where I was just like, whoa, I'm like a part of his kingdom, not just like there's a relationship there, but I'm actually like part of his kingdom. Was one of my first biggest calls to obedience, and it was praying for one of my friends, and I was like, that's crazy. That's so cool. Just be obedient. And just the fact that my first like huge call to obedience had as much as an impact that I think it might have had. It doesn't have to be a huge thing, just be obedient.
Right. That's cool. I think you're doing that. I see you doing that, and I'm excited for you. I'm excited for what's next for you in this season. What I think is really neat is like, it's kind of like I've been saying this for all of you seniors, right? Like, it's kind of like a chapter closed for you guys. It's kind of crazy to think like you've been doing this for a while, right? Like being in high school and just like in this, and now you're about to go somewhere else. But like, it's like a blank canvas, this new season. And so the Lord's going to like just start to do something different in it and fine tune it. And he's going to, and who you are. And I always tell you guys all of this, like all the time, is like maybe even journal it, like, cause you guys journal really well, but like look at who you are today and like see what you are like in even like 4 years, 5 years, and like what the Lord has done. Cause what you think today and what you're hoping for today, the Lord's going to kind of shape that and do different things. And so keep our centered on him, seek him, don't strive for him, cause we don't have to strive for him. We don't have to like, he's not far from us. He's not like a race that we have to try to whatever. He's just someone that wants to have a relationship with you. So don't be hard on yourself.
That's how I've always kind of thought about it too, is like my faith in this. I keep saying this, but it does sound so corny, but it's so true. Like when you hear Christians say this, there's a meaning behind it, and there's a reason they're saying it. But my faith today looks so different from what it looks like yesterday. Like he's making adjustments here and there, and you don't even notice it. Like obviously my faith today is very different from it was 9 months ago. But there's a reason for that. It's because he's growing with you. I mean, he's not growing with you, but he's helping you grow. Right.
He's on that journey with you, which is cool. It means you're not like far from him. Like he's with you, which is kind of neat. I'm excited for you, Chelsea. Yes. So just keep going.
So excited.
This podcast is your baby. It's true. It's which is neat to know that like it's going out to other people. Like, I mean, it's everybody's, right? It's the youth group's podcast, right? But like, I know it's something that means something to you, and like you care to see it grow and stuff like that. So I'm grateful for that, and just grateful for all that you do. And I'm excited to see what else you have or what the Lord has for you in this next season. Yeah. Cool. Well, that will be it for today. We will see more of Chelsea soon. Hopefully you'll do another episode before you leave. So. We'll see though. I don't know. We'll check. But we'll at least have you back at some point. But thankful for all of you guys being here today. Thankful for just this episode and just to be able to spend time with Chelsea. And I pray that this just meant a lot to you, that the Lord has spoken to you in some way. If there's any doubt in your creativity or feeling redeemed, knowing that the Lord is for you, he is beside you, he sees you. And so just accept that grace that he's given you. If you like this episode, please comment. Please comment. It helps us out a little bit. It's kind of nice to know like why people are liking things. I've always had like a weird like little thing with like when someone likes something. It's like, what did you like about it? Tell me what you liked. So we want to know like what you like. And then share this podcast. Please share it on your social medias. And I just hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.